This is Saputra Island, the most unique, isolated, and strategically important island in the entire Indian Ocean. Ordinary people might not know much about it, but many countries in the world, especially the UAE and Saudi Arabia, have very strict "they are watching." This island is also called Alien Island because the trees and plants found here are not found anywhere else in the world. But that is a very small reason that makes this island so special. The real reason is the island's geographical location. And because of this, it is also called the Jewel of the Gulf of Aden. This island is located approximately 500 kilometers from Yemen, near the Horn of Africa. They are where 30% of the world's sea containers pass through. Every day, approximately 3 million oil barrels exit the Persian Gulf and enter the Indian Ocean. These ships cross the Arabian Sea, enter the Gulf of Aden, and then, passing through the Bab el-Mandeb, reach Europe via the Suez Canal. So, whoever controls this island will actually control world trade and also keep an eye on Africa. Because right next to it is Somalia. And the most dangerous thing on this route is the Somali pirates who often attack trade ships. By controlling this island, the entire trade route, the road can be protected, and finally, through this island, all Middle Eastern development can also be monitored. Besides that, for all the nearby fishing communities, this island is a major stopping point. So, this is its geography. The technological importance due to which every regional power from Iran to Qatar and India wants to establish their base on this island. However, the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia are making the most effort among all the countries to gain control of this country, and its one major reason for Socotra is Yemen. Socotra is actually a part of Yemen, but it is culturally and socially very different from Yemen. The population of Socotra is approximately between 60,000 to 90,000, and here 50% are Sunni and 50% are Shia Muslims. Most of the people living here either catch fish or cultivate dates. Unfortunately, this island, rich in natural beauty, has become part of the civil war in the past few years, which has devastated entire Yemen. Speaking of Yemen's civil war, this started in 2014 when the government opposing Shia group Ansar Allah seized Yemen's capital, Sana'a, and forced Prime Minister Mohammed Basindawa to resign. Ansar Allah is actually the same group also referred to as the Yemeni Houthi rebels. The Yemen war is this is a very complex topic. It's a proxy war. In simple words, the real strings of this conflict are behind the scenes. Some other countries are behind it. On one side are America and the Gulf countries that support President Hadi, and on the other side is Iran, which supports the Houthi rebels. Yemen is burning in the fire of such a proxy war where the superpowers of the world are using its land and people for their purposes. We will also make a video on this topic in the future. For now, let's return to Socotra Island. So, one reason for Saudi Arabia and the UAE to acquire Socotra is that they can keep an eye on the Houthi rebels, because recently there were some missile attacks on the UAE whose response, the biggest responsibility was claimed by these Houthi rebels. So sitting here, the UAE can comfortably thwart any such attack. In fact, if it has to launch a missile attack on these Houthi rebels, it will be much easier to attack from here compared to from the UAE. But now this whole story is going to become even more interesting. In the year 2015, a very big storm hit Socotra Island, which caused significant loss of life and property. This was the opportunity that Saudi Arabia and the UAE took advantage of to enter this island under the pretext of humanitarian aid. These two Arab countries started developing local infrastructure and arranged food and shelter for the people affected by the storm. And not only that, but the United Arab Emirates, under the pretext of security here, deployed their 5,000 soldiers. Then in 2018, the UAE sent additional troops here under the pretext of training Yemeni soldiers, and then on the 30th of April 2018, the UAE Army too. The UAE took control of all the airports and seaports of Socotra. And here comes the interesting part that I mentioned earlier. The UAE not only invested in Socotra's basic infrastructure such as roads, hospitals, started heavily investing in tips and schools. In fact, salaries were also given to the doctors, police, and bureaucrats there. Considerable acceptance and sympathy for the UAE began to develop among the local population displeased with the current President Hadi's government of Yemen, and they started welcoming Emirati investment. On the other hand, Saudi Arabia is quite upset with this action by the UAE, but it seems like the UAE might not be too concerned about Saudi Arabia in this matter. That is why, according to several war experts in Yemen, it seems that the UAE